Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Collecting What episode, and I just want to say thank you to whoever is watching this on YouTube, whoever is listening this on podcast form, whoever is consuming this deliciousness. I just want to say thank you, thank you. I might be doing this for myself, but I appreciate you guys listening in too. So today I have GandaKris, who is an amazing artist and a huge lover of anything Nintendo. And she is awesome. We had a great conversation. We almost went over 2 hours. I don't know how we talked so long, but it was fantastic. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And as usual, if you enjoy the content, please feel free to subscribe, follow, like, comment, whatever the action is. just go ahead and do it. And if not, hey, it is what it is, man. I appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, guys. And as per usual, all her links for you to find her work and where to follow her is gonna be down in the description below, either on the podcast side or on YouTube. Okay. Anyways, without further ado, Miss GandaKris. I can hear you now.
Yes, technology. I love it.
Dude, how you doing?
Good. I'm good.
Awesome.
Work, for streams, meetings, all that good stuff. So it's pretty crazy.
Businesswoman over here. Excuse me. You know how we roll. I love it.
No, I suck at it. I can't set up anything. Something has to go wrong. It's like so bad. So I usually just call up Jason and just like, okay, this is the situation. Something's not working, whatever it may be. I hate setting up streams because it's so nerve-wracking.
It is. That's why I'm still not streaming this podcast live, because I'm just like, it's such a pain in the ass. Just record it. Maybe some other time, So
when technology gets easier to work with.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot, so I'm just
It's okay.
I suck.
Especially nowadays, since with quarantine, everyone had to like somehow figure out how to do meetings and Zoom calls.
Mm-hmm. It's funny enough. I've been doing Zoom meetings for a long time, because like all my jobs are remote. So like the companies are like in California and Philadelphia or some shit. So I have to like do meetings, and it's all Zoom. So when this whole thing happened, everybody was doing Zoom meetings. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been doing since forever.
So you have a professional mic. They're just like, how do you get that mic? Like, well, I'm a streamer. I do videos.
Same thing. Every time I have especially now, since I don't have a job, so I'm doing interviews. It's all Zoom. So I got this big ass setup over here. They're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so goodbye. And then I'm
I know, it's crazy, but it's cool because like at least everyone's starting to either stream or get into making videos, all that good stuff. Gotta find something
little
to
by
do
little.
during quarantine. So
100%. Well, look at me doing this fucking podcast.
yeah, it's exciting. It's so funny because like I don't know if you know this, but Jason's like a huge fan, and Jason was just like, I told Jason, I was like, oh, so guess what podcast I'm doing next, and he's just like, well, I don't know. And I was trying to give him hints. All these things. He's like, Krystyne, I have no idea. And then I was like, P2? And he's like, oh! He's like, oh, that's so awesome. So yeah, it was so funny because I was just like, if Jason was off, he would have loved to like just chill in the side and listen, but he's working right now. So.
Jason, listen, Papi Chulo. No worries. You and me are going to have our own podcast together. Okay? So, take it easy. I love you. I appreciate it. That is so funny. Dude, hey, first of all, thank you for your time, dude. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me. No, I appreciate you reaching out and giving me this opportunity. I love doing podcasts.
Me too. I'm loving
really
it.
Cool to just be on here and talk about games.
Yes. Everything. And you, I mean, we've known each other social or internet wise since the Amiibo days, because that's when I started my crazy Amiibo videos, and then you were, doing your Amiibo costumes, and it's just, and by the way, you are ridiculous. Like, you are amazing. Your art shit, like, dude, like, and I don't mean to demean it by calling it shit. It's just like it's just amazing. Like, and
Oh.
and one thing I love about you is that you're so goddamn genuine. It's just it oozes, and you have been, you have been essentially the same person since you started. Because I remember your first YouTube videos where you were just doing like the Pokeballs, right? Was it Pokeballs or something?
Yeah.
So again, you were already creating. So like you tried to contact Nintendo, which we'll get into that later. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but like you've been, your passion for creating and being artistic and for Nintendo have been, yeah, I'm assuming since you were born, doing your little crap, right?
Yeah. The moment that like my family got a PlayStation and GameCube and Game Boy, like that was the moment where I was so intrigued with all the visuals and just the storylines and everything like that. Like me and my sisters, we just absolutely loved it. We like to play all the different types of games together. Sometimes we would switch off and just watch each other play, and it was just really intriguing. And I thought, man, this is like art, everything when it comes to the music, the visuals, the storyline. That is like the encompassment of art, which was very, very intriguing to me as a kid, especially since I was already taking like all those art classes. And it was always something that like for me was an escape, creating art or drawing or working with clay. It was like a way for me to express myself, especially when people, like for me personally, I was very shy, so I'd imagine when someone does art, they also kind of escape into their own world. So video games also did that essentially, where you're just escaping into in a virtual world, so yeah, it just went hand in hand for me.
Were you doing like crafts and art and all this stuff before the whole video game scene?
So yeah, I was. Crazy enough, at the same time, I took a lot of art classes, whether it be like drawing or ceramics. That same year, I got introduced to the video game club through my sister, and that's where I met all my lifetime long friends. And it was cool because they helped me incorporate art, traditional art, drawing, sculpting, all that stuff, and video games into one. So when we were playing Melee, they would request like characters for me to make in art class, which was really funny. I had to like sell it to the teacher in order for her to allow me to make figurines of like Kirby and stuff. But it was cool because my friends helped me find my passion, which was combining video games and art. And then I would like just give them figurines in art class and yeah, all that stuff. So yeah, it was definitely a nice niche to just mix those two things that I love.
That's so funny. So you were making, so by the way, your drawings are fantastic. Like I don't know if anybody's seen, I haven't seen you posting drawings in a long time, at least on Instagram. But I hope you're still drawing because they're fucking awesome. I don't know if anybody's gone to her Instagram or go all the way down and check out those drawings because you were, I'm this is the let's praise GandaKris.
No,
because your work is awesome. Your work, and I love it, and that's why we've been I've been following you forever. You always post your creations, and it's just ridiculous, dude. And so, run me through Amiibo starting to come out. When did you say, you know what, let's customize some Amiibo?
So crazy enough, like I said, when I joined the video game club, my friends would request their characters and I'd make it from scratch. And making figurines from scratch is like the absolute hardest thing to do. It really is. People don't understand, like if you're making something from scratch, you really have to make sure all the proportions are correct, the limbs, the head, the body, all that stuff. And like when I started off, it definitely wasn't good. Like the quality work that you see now, that was like practice and patience and, acquired skill of just really trying over and over and over again. So I was making figurines way before Amiibo came out. But man, when Amiibo came out, it was just so much easier because no longer did I have to start from scratch. I didn't have to put more time and effort into building the character. I just had this perfect base that I could work off of and just start adding things that I wanted to. So it was just a lot easier when Amiibo came out. I mean, hail to Amiibo. Cause
were you excited? Like when was that moment you saw the first Amiibo or whatever, and then you're like, yes, let's customize this. When did that happen?
So it was crazy because when Amiibo came out, I'm still very particular when it comes to collecting figurines and stuff. And so I didn't collect all the Amiibos. I knew that I didn't have the space for it. It's a lot of money at the time. And just in general, I mean, there's so many that were coming out too, and it was really hard to get.
I remember those days.
Those days. So the cool thing was my friend lives in Japan. He was there for school, and then he was actually teaching kids how to learn English. And he was so sweet. He's one of my best friends. And he sent me a Pikachu Amiibo. And he was just like, I like, you know, I know that you weren't able to get the Pikachu Amiibo, so I just wanted to send you one. And I was looking at it, and I was just like, you know, I remember drawing a Pikachu crossover with the Flash. And I was just like, how cool would it be if I could, like, just paint the Flash logo onto Pikachu? Because Jason's favorite DC character is the Flash. Absolutely loves it.
Which version? Who's
Flash? Okay, so what is the Blue Lantern one? I think it's when he had like the ring, or he got, or
yeah.
like, yeah, right. There's like, so he has all the pop figures. I'm not entirely. He loves Barry Allen, which is his all-time favorite. Yeah, and so I was just like, it'd be so cool to just have that type of collaboration again, instead of drawing like a figurine, you know, as an Amiibo. And it was horrendous because I used the wrong paint. It was really bad. It was off. It was just really terrible. But I was just like, okay, so we're on to something, right? And so I just continued, you know, making Amiibo because people started requesting it. I posted the Pikachu one on my Instagram, and that just blew up. And I was just like, I want to continue this. It was crazy because it was something that I was doing in high school that was really near and dear to my heart, you know, making figurines for my friends. And then when Amiibo came out, I was just like, I get to do what I love again, but easier.
I know, right? So, it's already like there. I got a base. Now I just go.
Exactly. I mean, I love the fact that Amiibo came out because now all these color alts that I saw in Melee and Brawl and now Ultimate, I can actually create in real life.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome. I tried customizing Amiibo. Ooh.
You know,
total failure.
Practice. And I get this question all the time where it's like, how do you even do this? And I tell everyone, like, this is years of dedication. I swear anyone can do this. If they had the same amount of time and patience that I had and experience, I don't doubt that there'd be better people even making crazier customs. It's just finding the time to do it and sitting down and learning.
Commitment, baby. And priorities instead of watching
10,000 hours. That's all it takes to learn something new, apparently.
10,000 hours. That's it. But instead of playing games and doing other crap, sit your ass down at your little craft table and start messing around.
Yes, absolutely. But you know, and that's what I love too, is I remember when I started making charms of Nintendo things and stuff like that. I was Googling tutorial videos, and at the time there weren't a lot of YouTube videos. Like, YouTube was just popping up.
Yeah, that was when YouTube was born.
Yeah, so like, you know, it was difficult to find tutorials, and I remember there's this person who made these beautiful, beautiful charms, and I would ask them questions, and I would get no responses, or they did not make tutorial videos and stuff like that. So I figured at that time, I was just like, you know what, if ever I learn a new skill, I want to make tutorial videos for those that are looking to make or create, you know, things, especially in the Nintendo world, you know. So I was just like, one thing I'm definitely going to do and hopefully give back to the community is tutorials and explanation videos. And I love teaching. That's like my biggest thing, is I like to pass down my skill and
that's awesome.
see others run with it.
And help
So,
others. That's see. I mean, can you get any more awesome? Come on, Chica.
uh,
Come on. I'm badass at what I do, and I love spreading the knowledge.
yeah,
The
you
more
know,
you know.
because the thing is, like, there's some creative people out there, and sometimes it's hard to start something new, especially if it seems very daunting, but when you find a creator online, giving you the steps, it kind of makes it a lot easier for you to want to dip your toes into the water.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
remember being that person where it's just like, this is so, like daunting to me. I don't know where to begin. I don't know the materials. So I'd hate for someone to go through that same struggle, where it's like, I have the knowledge already. Let's just put it out there and, people can just create on their own,
Yeah,
So,
Google it up, and there's Ganda.
yeah.
By the way, by the way,
I guess.
where's Ganda from?
So, I wanted to. Okay, so when the Amiibos were popping up, I wanted to change that name because it was a name that I came up with when I was in college, like my first year of college. And I love telling the story, just because I know, like, hopefully if someone's in the same, state of mind, like maybe it could help them. But yeah, I mean, like, I didn't have a lot of friends in high school. I did go to the Bourdain club. I did meet a lot of friends that I absolutely cherish to this day. But I was still very, very quiet and shy. And so, like, in my native language, because I'm Filipino, half Spanish, in
Filipino,
Tagalog,
baby.
yeah, in Tagalog, maganda means beautiful. And so I, like, when I'm sure a lot of kids go through this, where there's a lot of insecurities that arise, especially nowadays in society. Like, you need to be perfect in every aspect of your life. You need to look amazing. You need to personify this perfect image, and at that time, even for me, so I can't imagine what kids are going through these days.
I know.
For me, like, at that time, I felt that tremendous stress of having to people please,
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, I don't see myself as someone beautiful, like, inside or out. And I felt like I needed to be the first person to tell myself I'm beautiful.
Gotcha.
Right? Because one thing for me is, like, you can't spread that love if you don't have love for yourself, because at that point, like, you're not really giving love, in my opinion, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that
No, it
correlates, but
yeah.
So yeah, that's where Maganda comes, or GandaKris, because I'm just calling myself beautiful, because I just want to remind myself, like, who I am, and I know my worth, and I know that I have a good foundation. And coming into this industry, when it comes to being a content creator or streamer, or just in general, like, you will get so many trolls and hate comments.
Of course,
and
all the time.
Tell everyone you have to have a good foundation, because that is the foundation that you're going to lean on when the times get really tough. So.
I agree. That's amazing, dude. Don't change your name. Shit, dude. GandaKris.
I know.
That's what's up.
Now I love it. I was very embarrassed at the time, because I was just like, what does this mean? I'm like, okay, well. So yeah, I know, I appreciate it now. Like, maybe back then I was just like, oh, I just should have maybe kept my name. But no, I love telling this story. And for me, telling stories is one way to get your story across, or your experience, or whatever it may be, because you never know who needs to hear it at that time.
Exactly.
Right, because you never know, maybe someone's going through a really bad day, and maybe your story could hopefully steer them in some sort of direction.
Yep. I tell that to everybody. The other day I was interviewing what's his face, the composer, Kevin, and he was talking about his problems with his heart and all the operations and surgeries and crap. And he's like, dude, do you want me to stop talking about this? I'm like, dude, keep talking about it. Like, you've been through so much shit. You could have easily given up. Like, you're probably making somebody's day right now that's just, depressed because of the situation we're in right now. A lot of people don't have work or can't go outside, all this crap. And it's like, you're right now, that person might just be like, damn, life could be a lot worse. Let me be grateful for what I have. Let me motivate myself to do something. So it's, like you said, it could be, and we think about when we're talking, we think, oh, this is a stupid ass story. Like, nobody's going to give a crap, but we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just talking about this, my nickname is GandaKris because I'm telling myself that I'm beautiful. Like, to you, sometimes you're like, oh, man, that sounds kind of, but somebody hears that and they're like, damn, let me keep telling myself that I'm worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
And it could change. It can change people's lives, So
absolutely. Because I wish, and I wish at the time when I was going through those things, how encouraging would it have been if someone told me that I was worth it or had shared that story to me at that time. I'm glad to have gone through everything that I did, but would have helped if, someone, shared their own experiences of insecurities. It would have been so helpful. And so that's at least what I want to do, is like hopefully help someone out there who's going through the same hardships, and I guess it's just really important to appreciate yourself. And for me, it's like, it's not selfish if the intent is because you want to better yourself, no, like sometimes you need to be selfish and 100%. Sit down with yourself and really appreciate you for you.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, exactly like you said, you gotta appreciate yourself. You gotta, because if you don't appreciate yourself, you're already starting wrong. Like, you don't appreciate yourself. And, how are you gonna get anybody to appreciate you? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I think that's why people, like, whenever there's someone having like a bad day or like whatever it may be, a hate comment pops up, whatever, I always tell myself, like, they are probably just having the worst time right now, and they just need to vent it towards someone.
Yeah.
And that's why a strong foundation plays a huge part, because back then, early on, when all these Amiibo things started popping up and yada, and I got more attention or whatever, of course, when you get more attention, you also open that door for people to troll you or hate comments or whatever. And back then it used to get to me, and I remember sitting down at a sushi restaurant with Jason, and I was like in this like battle of
yeah, you son forth, of a bitch. Die.
And, oh my God. And then like, I look up and I see all my friends enjoying their sushi, talking to each other, having fun. And here I am just like putting all my attention into someone that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And I remember just at that moment, just clarity. I was just like, what am I doing? Bling! Yeah, like it just hit me. I was like, what am I doing right now? And so then I realized, this doesn't matter. this doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It's crazy because my friends remember that moment. They remember looking at me from the other side of the table and being like, what is she doing over there on her phone? And so like when they remind me of that, I'm just like, yeah, that was terrible. I never want to give time to someone who's not going to appreciate,
100%. I tell that to everybody. I got, everybody that I know who's on YouTube or exposing themselves like we do, because, we're in front of the camera. Don't waste your time, don't waste your time. I started on YouTube a long time ago, and I used to like do that, but I was a kid too. I was a 20 something. And I'm dumb. I'm dumb now. Imagine back then. But then, yeah, you're like, I'm wasting my time. Why? Yeah. Like, let me keep creating. A lot of people are enjoying it. I enjoy it, first and foremost.
Exactly.
Selfish as possible. Like, even this podcast, I'm doing it for me. Because, I enjoy talking to people about their passions and everything. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's start it. So somebody doesn't like it, good. If they have a constructive criticism on how to make the show better or whatever, oh, perfect. I'll listen to you. But if some asshole, go fuck yourself, Peter, blah, blah, blah. I just, what is it? Ban, delete,
You've been silenced.
Yeah, it's like, okay, bye. Don't really give a crap. I'm not going to waste my time because
it's
my time.
For a reason, I
block is what I wanted to say. I block motherfuckers left and right. If there's some asshole, if they're saying something that I don't agree with, I don't care. That's what discussions are for. But if it's in the comments and you're talking crap with absolutely, just being a troll, like you said, block. I don't even finish the sentence. Block. Like, I'm done. I'm not gonna waste my time.
It's your channel, and you know, like for me too, especially this year, I tell everyone protect your mental health. You know,
Muy
that
importante.
should come first and foremost. Like I always tell everyone, because I know some people, like my friend group, some people want to get into streaming and want to get into, you know, making content, and I think that's so awesome and incredible. But I tell them, I'm like, just don't forget your foundation and the people who actually love you. You know, because when you make a mistake on a video, or if someone calls you out, or you see that one comment, it's not going to affect you in real life. That's what I want to tell everyone, is that, like, make sure what happens online doesn't affect you in real life, you know, because you ultimately get to decide what you want to put out there for content. And if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. And I've noticed, like, if I make a mistake in a video, I do not care anymore.
That's
like, oh,
yes.
All right, what can I do?
You have leveled up, not giving a shit. Oh, I messed up on a video. Okay.
Oh well, yeah. You know, I mean, just, you know, at that point, it's like, I'm really at the end. Like you said, you're making this podcast for you, and that is a beautiful thing, because, you know, I would hate for anyone to turn their passion into something they dislike at the end of the day, because now they're being forced to put out content, you know, that they really don't believe in. You know?
Yeah. That's why I take a lot of breaks on YouTube. You know, you make, you know, the Amiibo days happen, and then Nintendo stopped making Amiibos the same way. I'm like, well, okay, that's it. I mean, I'm not gonna be fake. I'm not gonna do something that I don't like. You know, it was all Animal Crossing Amiibo by then, and I'm like, I don't give a crap about Animal Crossing Amiibo wise, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it sucked because I remember my channel was growing crazy, and I'm like, damn, what do I do? But I'm not like I love Nintendo, but I don't want to be just a Nintendo channel. Like, I just want to do everything. So I guess, you know, I don't know, could have pivoted better in those days to keep growing my channel, probably. But yeah, I ended up just doing what I wanted to do. So
yeah, and that's better, because at the end of the day, right, like, let's say if you had continued down that route, I'm pretty sure you would have hit some sort of burnout.
100%.
You know? So I tell everyone, dude, just make art or make content that you're really passionate about. Because the moment this is what I like too, is like when I talk to someone about certain topics or subjects, you can immediately see that, like, instant spark when you hit a subject they love. You know?
Yeah. You see my spark. Oh my God, dude. Even exactly, right now, like, what we're talking about, I think we're both very passionate about, you know, doing what we love. We're both passionate, you know, we love Nintendo. we love Nintendo, you know, with all this stuff. And when you, like you said, you talk to somebody who's passionate about a subject, that person beams, you know, and you can't shut them up sometimes. I guess I'm talking about myself. I can't shut up. We start talking about toys. I can't shut up.
You just go on, and you're like the Energizer Bunny.
yeah, literally, blah, 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 blah. People need to knock me out. Just shut up, Pitu. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. I feel you. It's so funny because, like, so I love storytelling. I can get really into it. And Jason, on the other hand, is just like, Krystyne, get to the point. Get to the point. Because I go through the journey. I go through the weather, the time of day, where we were.
That's like my wife is, though. That's like my wife.
How I was feeling, like, all that. And he's just like, Krystyne, just get to the point.
Listen, sometimes, like, you know, when my wife tries to tell me just a simple thing, you know, we need to buy more bananas. Well, she starts, instead of saying, oh, can you get more bananas? She starts a story. Yes, Maximus, he loves bananas. And then he started trying, blah, 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 and then he grabbed it, and all this just to come down to, we need to buy more bananas. I'm like, just tell me we need to buy more bananas.
You leave the room, and then you come back, and you're like, a lot of bananas.
I just need to get more bananas. Got it? No problem.
Okay, cool. Where I'm getting at is that we need more bananas. Is
exactly.
No, listen. The bananas.
So it's just funny, yeah. Sometimes even, you know, and I do it sometimes, of course, when I'm talking to my wife and whatnot. It's something simple, and you just get into this whole, let me tell you the backstory before I tell you what I need you to do.
Oh my gosh, you should just see. It's just so funny. Every time Jason looks at me, he gives me those signals of like, Krystyne, you gotta end it. We're going 30 minutes already.
Let me fast forward here, Krystyne.
Right.
Let me get to the point real quick.
I think because like you and I are both very passionate, so like I said, when I do get to relive a special memory or moment, that spark happens. And I just want to immerse them in that situation, because then truly they'll understand what my emotions were, how I felt at that time. I mean, maybe they don't really need to go through it, but it's just like, I think it just emphasizes like that story and that experience,
I agree.
And they truly can understand why it was so impactful. But yeah, I can go on and on.
Dito. Look, so listen, you said, were you born in the States or in the Philippines?
So I was born here.
Okay.
I was born here. My parents, they both came from the Philippines as immigrants. And then they had me and my sisters, and end of story. We just grew up here. I've been born and raised in Nevada. So I'm very acclimated to the desert climate. I do not work in the cold. Cannot.
I'm Puerto Rican, girl. I was born in an island.
So we're on the same page. Oh my gosh, I can't deal with it. And it's starting to get really cold here. And it's so funny because like it's still like tank top-ish weather, but I'm at the point where it's like I need a jacket.
I need protection because it's too cold. It's down to 60 degrees at night.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
funny.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, no, me and my sisters were born and raised here, and they're both really into the gaming industry as well. My sister's a cosplayer. My older sister's a cosplayer. My younger sister, she's a streamer, and she's played Final Fantasy. So it's cool because then I'm known as like the Nintendo sister. My sister's known as like Bandai and all that stuff. And then my younger sister's like Final Fantasy. So we have
that is awesome.
Yeah, we're all just very different, which is really cool. Very different.
Keeps it fresh.
Yeah, if you get tired of talking to me about Nintendo, you can go to my sister about PlayStation. It's really cool. Or PC games, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bitch for Final Fantasy. I mean, I'm like, please.
Final Fantasy
7, 8,
She's
9,
cooked on
10.
Final Fantasy 14.
Is she?
All day, every day. Yes. Doing all the raids, all that crazy stuff. She has a giant figurine in her desk. It's crazy.
Freaking awesome. Talking about giant figurines, I got my Samus.
Ooh, I love Samus. Let me see this. I love figurines. Oh, that's so beautiful. And it lights up?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh, dude. My sister's husband would absolutely love that. His favorite character is Samus, hands down.
Oh my god, this statue is amazing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Gorgeous. I cannot wait for another Metroid game, honestly. I hope and pray and wish it comes out eventually.
Every time I read something about it, it's negative. Like, oh, we come back to zero now. We only have the title. What? What's going on? Please.
I know. Well, it's understandable, especially in this climate right now. That's why I'm not too harsh on a lot of gaming companies. When it comes to releasing titles, because imagine we're all quarantined. We all are trying our best to make everything work. And I mean, we were just talking about it where it's like streaming and Zoom meetings and all that stuff. It takes a lot of work to make it just work.
Yes.
So I can't imagine trying to build a game right now with a whole entire team going back on emails,
Yeah.
Talking is just so much easier to communicate.
100%. Meetings, Zoom meetings, freaking texting is a pain in the ass,
I love watching newscasters or interviewers, and there's that silent pause because they're behind on the video, so it's they're just sitting there for a good minute, now.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Totally. And then you are on the other side, just waiting for the reply.
I just love watching it, and it's so crazy because it happens with networks, and I'm like, I feel like you guys would have the best
with
internet
networks where they have their own stations, right, with Skype. I forgot what they call them, but everything is set up to the best connections ever, and they still suck balls. Yeah. And it's weird because on TV, news, they don't shut the fuck up. They talk and talk and talk and talk. It's like, bro, that's not like humans are. Humans don't talk nonstop. Take a breath. So when they're in that situation where it's like, oh yeah, oh, this is great. So and then the other person is the same thing. It's weird. It's weird.
No, my favorite part though is like when so they have that lag going on too, and then they interrupt each other, and then it's like full silence.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
stop.
No, you go.
No. And then you're she talking? No, I can't. Oh, and then they go to the main guy. I'm sorry, we're having technical difficulties here. Blah 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 blah.
Gosh. We live in a very interesting world right now.
We do. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's showing how important, you know, content creation is in platforms, you know, like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all that stuff, because you know, you get to tell your story without anybody telling you anything else. People are consuming that shit because it's all made, you know, in your own little space. So it's interesting. It's interesting. So
it is. Well, you know, and that's the cool thing is that I feel like we both can probably feel more validated right now at this moment, because people are wanting to look at something, consume something, you know, and we can provide those couple of minutes for them to kind of escape from what's going on right now and kind of just enjoy this podcast, you know, and talk and listen and talk about, you know, collecting toys and Nintendo and video games. So that's why I feel very fulfilled during these times of quarantine, just because I know that, like, if I were to put out a crafting video, there's going to be a family that's staying at home looking for something to do, and now they can go ahead and make crafts together.
Exactly. That's a great way to look at it. It's a great way of looking at it. So, well, you and me have a very common love for Gary Vee. You know, I've been following Gary Vee since 2008, I think, before, when he was still in wine. Like, he wasn't even doing discussions or anything. And I get a little embarrassed saying that, because I've been following this guy who's amazing at business, and then I'm sucking balls on that business side, if you will. So it's like, bro, what are you doing, man? But I digress. So I bring him up because, you know, he's awesome. Always talking about, you know, follow your dreams, blah, blah, blah. And you, back in 2011, if I remember correctly, sent a letter and a box to Nintendo. Like, by the way, just getting the cojones to get that done is amazing. Like, you're legit writing Nintendo, like, what's up, bitches? I got this, and this. I make this stuff like this. I would love to partner with you guys. Like, that takes some balls. No question. Yeah. You know, I don't know. It's amazing. Okay. So, and then, I mean, go ahead and tell that story, and then we'll move forward to 2017.
Okay.
Because it's awesome.
The way you emphasize it is just awesome. I love it. But, you know, like, I remember being a high schooler, and you always get that question asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? And it seems like it's just inevitable doom when you get closer to graduation and going into college, and now you can pick a degree, and you know, you can go undecided, or like, am I even going to go into college, and yada, all that stuff, right? So I mean, especially nowadays where kids feel like they have that pressure of needing to really decide what they need to do, you know, especially in this very interesting climate. I think it's just so hard to decide at that age, you know. Thankfully now, like, they have options, you know, and that's why I love to look at content creators, streamers and stuff, because they decided, you know, the traditional route isn't for me. You know, this is what I love to do. How can I make this into a business? You know, so when I graduated high school, and again, like, you know, at that time, 2011, like, there was no such thing as streamers, maybe YouTubers, you know, but they weren't really that into video games. Probably the only person that really did it headstrong was PewDiePie at the time, you know, and he was probably the only example out there. So I was desperate. I mean, sure, I had a lot of courage, but I was like, I want to work at Nintendo, right? That was like in my head. I was like, I want to work at Nintendo. How do I make this happen? And being a 17, 18-year-old, I was just like, okay, so let's just do all these crafts that you did. How cool would it be if I had my own jewelry line, you know? So let me send all these things that I made into nice little package with blown up pictures. I tried to make this as professional as possible. Looking back, I don't know if it was. I don't remember too much. But I sent it. I Googled what their address was, whatever. And then, and then like, I think 2 weeks later, I checked my mailbox and there's a letter. And I was really like scared, of course, and nervous, but excited to see what they had said.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the nicest decline I have ever gotten. But it was weird because at the time I was like, all right, well, I didn't take it personally, logic set in, definitely. I was just like, okay, well, I am just out of high school. I don't have proper education. They definitely wouldn't have hired a 17-year-old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I make this work, right? What is the next step in my journey? And I think for me, like I always try to tell everyone, the journey is the most important part, for me, it's like you need to get up, and continue walking that path, and to not forget your journey, like the full length of it, and that each step matters. Because I think people, they tend to feel like inadequate, especially when something doesn't happen, like a big goal isn't reached or whatever. But you need to realize even those small steps count, even the small steps. And just getting up every single day and working towards your dream is good enough as well. You can't always look for those big accomplishments that you feel like you'll find validation in, because it's not going to give you validation. And then when you reach that validation, you're just going to look for the other thing to give you validation. When in reality, you should just cruise, enjoy the journey. That's what Jason has taught me. I was very emotional back then. Jason's a lot more logic. So as you can see, 7 years with him he's instilled a lot of logic.
He's rubbing off on you. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So it's always that balance of
smart guy, Jason.
It's always that balance of like finding like, when to place your emotions into a situation and when to remove it,
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very important. But,
all right. So your dreams were crushed by Nintendo, essentially. They went splattered all over you, but in a nice way, of course.
Nicest way, yes.
but like we've seen, you said, "Fuck it, let's keep on going." Which again, I love because it's really easy to give up. It's like I tried. Like you said, you're 17, 18 years old. I tried. I'm done. Life is over. Like it's really easy to go like that. Oh shit, they don't want me. It's a wrap. But now you kept doing your craft, you kept doing your art, and then this new platform in YouTube happened, and Instagram happened, and then you just kept going with it. And fast forward till when Nintendo, did they reach out to you? Or did you reach out to them?
So it was kind of vice versa, because at the time I heard about the program, and I was just like, everyone's been talking about it. Some of my friends were in it. I was like, what is this program about? So I went to E3 for the very first time. And wow, E3 is incredible. And I absolutely miss it right now. Very sad that it did not happen this year, but completely understandable.
Yeah.
And at that time, that's where I met a lot of people, and I had met a friend that was working at Nintendo. I'm not entirely sure what he does, but bless his heart. But I like mentioned it to him, and he was just like, I'm going to try to pass this on to someone that will help you out, So a couple months after that, I didn't hear anything. And then next, they emailed me, and then that's where it all began, where it's just like, we heard you're very interested in the program. But, the thing is, they definitely look at your content. And the cool thing for me is that they do not care about numbers, right? Because Nintendo, they don't need. I truly believe that they don't really need, viewership. They rack in views regardless of any trailer, any Nintendo Direct, right? What they really are looking for is the compassion and the dedication to the brand Nintendo, and what can you offer? What can you bring to the table? And I've seen so many Nintendo brand ambassadors that don't even have that huge following, but they love them because they're so wholesome, and they're very true as to why they love Nintendo and what Nintendo has gave them, you know, and experiences with like their friends and family, you know. So that's what I love about Nintendo, again, is that they don't care the type of numbers that you bring in, because at the time when they brought me in, I really only had maybe Instagram popping up. I think my YouTube channel was like 5,000, 10,000, which is pretty good. You know, like I don't want to hate on people who have small channels. Like, no. But, you know, considering you'd think that like a Nintendo company would be looking for like those players with 1 million followers, you know, and the fact that they weren't was like the coolest thing, you know. And now I get to work with a company that I had only dreamed of at the age of 17, you know, and I get to work on projects with them, and I get to stream their games, and I get to make art, which is just incredible. It's literally two things that I've absolutely loved since I was a kid, you know, with my family, with my sister, my mom and dad. And now I get to work with the company and help other families, you know. Fulfillment is like my number one word for me this year, is just finding that fulfillment, you know, and I'm content.
That's awesome.
I'm happy, I'm content, I'm just loving life as best as we can.
Loving life so much that I wake up, what, at 3 a.m. to go work out, you said? Damn.
Yeah, well, you know, okay, so this is why, right? So like, no, I mean, and working out, like, a lot of people, like, nowadays, I would say, because you can work out differently, right? You can work out for appearance, which is totally fine too, because people love to get really big, and like, you know, my friend is huge, like he's gigantic, right?
Get down,
like,
get to the chopper, come on, I'm gonna bump you up. That big, huh?
You know, and then you can work out for strength, or you can just work out for health. You know, there's a lot of reasons why people work out. For me personally, Jason being a nurse, you know, he's in medical school, like, he knows I have anxiety, and one thing that helps me, and I'm not trying to diagnose or help anyone, but I mean, maybe this might help for you if anyone's listening, you guys have anxiety. Working out is such a blessing. Like, the moment I hit my weight or deadlift that I didn't think I could do, it's like just that immediate accomplishment, you know. And sometimes in life you need those small victories to get you through the day.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, you know, like, there's so much that working out has done for me, whether it be hiking, walking, jogging, playing tennis, going to the gym. Like, it just kind of removes you from your real life for those couple of minutes, hours, and you just get to concentrate on yourself, you know. So yeah, I love working out. Jason introduced it to me. Well, he introduced like weightlifting to me, because at the time I was really into CrossFit, but man, do I love weightlifting.
Yeah,
so fun. Yeah, I mean, so the reason why we go at 3 o'clock in the morning is because Jason works super early, and especially with what's going on right now, when we go to the gym at 3 o'clock, there's no one.
Nobody's psycho enough to be there at 3 in the morning.
That's probably the reason why.
But that's good. You have the whole gym for yourself. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And I'm like, especially with Jason being in the medical field, we've had a lot of interesting scares this year. He used to work with, you know, patients in the ICU. Thankfully, now that he's switched to a different hospital and a different segment, he's no longer dealing with patients. With the pandemic, he's actually now just surgeries, which is, you know, it's a weight off of my shoulders, of my family, my friends, you know, everyone. But yeah, I mean, he gets up at 3 o'clock, we go to the gym, then he's back to work at 5. And then
what a worker. God damn.
Something, I don't know, it's crazy, very crazy. I mean,
amazing.
Kudos to all the medical workers, essential workers. You know, I'm telling you, they are true heroes, like, every single day, you know. So very thankful for all of them. If you're listening, if you are one, you know, shout out in the comments, dude. You guys
fire. My mother-in-law is a nurse. She still works as a nurse. And then my mom went to school to be a doctor. She was a doctor, but then I don't know what happened. But she's not working. But she's still up to date with, like, like if she was still working, she was supposed
Yeah.
to be an anesthesiologist or something. But yeah, like having her mom, my mother-in-law still work. She works at the Cleveland Clinic over here. So it's not like a main hospital with an ER or anything like that, but it's still a place where sick people go into, and she's very she's had a few surgeries, so if she gets sick, it might fuck her up real good. So it's
Right.
still, it's always nerve wracking, being there, and like you don't like the people that don't get the COVID thing for whatever reason or think it's bullshit or whatever. We don't get to think that way just because we have people not only in the medical field but also that if they get sick, it's a wrap.
Right.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
So it's it's always nerve wracking, especially for my wife. She's always thinking about that. You got to be very careful. We also have to be very careful because we don't want to get her sick. Because it might not do shit to us, pero she gets it. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, yeah. I think what's missing nowadays is definitely compassion.
Empathy.
Yeah, compassion is a huge thing. I think that's what drives people to want to understand the other side. And so for me, there's a very I try to follow a lot of very influential people who kind of are like in the middle. So there's a YouTuber that Jay and I like to listen to. His name is Dr. Mike. And I remember he was on a podcast and he was talking about how he doesn't try to convince people, when it comes to the virus or when it comes to vaccines, anything like that. He's like, because you're not going to win. You don't want to go into a conversation trying to convince someone otherwise, because now your intent is not genuinely trying to understand. Now you're just trying to convince them. Does it make any sense?
You're trying to win, essentially.
Yeah, you're trying to win, and that's not the goal, right? I think the goal, in essence, for everyone is to find that compassion and that patience and listen. Because even just listening to why they think that certain way, then you might understand, oh, okay, so this is the information that they got, right? I believe that information is wrong. Let me try to steer them down a path of not trying to convince them, but if I can give them a little information where they want to go home and research it themselves, then they'll find their own answer. Because the worst thing you want to do is tell them that they're wrong and then try to convince them.
That's the worst way to start a conversation.
Right.
Hey, buddy,
absolutely.
Shut the fuck up. You're wrong.
Yeah,
please. I'm going to listen to you right now.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because like the thing is like, if they don't get to the answer themselves, then do they themselves feel like, oh, I came to this conclusion, because the goal is for them to come to that conclusion. It's kind of like you can't bring a horse to water and then force the horse to drink the water. Like, no, sometimes
it's actually pretty easy. You get on top of his neck and just pull your way.
Drink it.
Drink it.
But that's what I've noticed is that, like, you're just not trying to convince them, and people feel more included when they've come to that conclusion or that outcome themselves. You're kind of like trying to steer them in the right direction, but you don't want to force them the answer.
Yeah, nobody wants to be forced. Nobody wants to, just be talked down to. Because usually when you tell somebody they're wrong, especially in conversations when it comes to stuff like that, normally people are not nice. They just say like, "You're wrong. This is." Somebody, I agree. We need empathy. We need 100% more empathy. And what was the word you used as well?
Compassion.
And compassion. 100%. 100%. We're missing it.
Along with those words, empathy is perfect. Empathy, compassion, because what comes with those words when anyone says it is just understanding. Patience. The wantingness to listen. Like all those things come with those words. And word choice is so important. And that's why I love like talking to people who are quiet.
So not me. Yeah.
No, like because me. So people when they see me, they're like, "You're so energetic. You're so loud. You're so da 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 da." Right? And I love it. I have the same. So if you and I were to be in the same room, I would meet your energy because I go off of people's vibe. So like people are just like, "Have you always been this energetic?" And I'm like, no, not at all. I was super, super, super quiet. I'm not trying to like, like boast about how quiet I was, but no, I was really quiet. My parents were concerned at one point. They asked my older sister one day. I remember hearing it, and my mom goes, "Does Krystyne have any friends?" And I was like, "Oh, it's so bad." But that's why when I go to enter a room and I see the loud, energetic, confident people, they're okay. I look for those people that are on the quiet or on the sidelines, and they're just like, like very observant. Because I've noticed when I talk to people like that too, they tend to listen a lot more. They tend to want to understand. And then usually when they say something, it's a very well thought out expression.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so that's why I feel like I'm very thankful that I was very quiet, because then now I feel like, okay, I understand what the quiet people are thinking.
Yeah. You have experience. I don't have experience on that, unfortunately, because I've been a blottermouth since I was.
Which is good. Jason's the same way. Out of the womb, he's just like, he has had friends. He was basically a jock in high school. It was so okay. So I showed him my recent high school photo, or my high school graduation photo, in the video game club, because you know how they do like club photos. So that day, like, they decided to do the video game club, so all the members came in for a photo, whatever. And I saw my yearbook, and I showed him. I was just like, "Oh, can you point out which one is me in the picture?" And he couldn't find me.
No, Jason.
And then I pointed. I was like, "That's me." And then he's like, "No, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And he's like, "Oh my gosh." He was just like, "You're so different." I was like, "Yeah," because I had a lot of acne, and I like hid my hair, and I wore all black. It was definitely.
Give me a second. Let me go get my yearbook real quick. Hold on.
Oh yeah. I'm so excited to see this. Oh my gosh. I wonder what it looks like.
So this Puerto Rican boy, right? Obsessed with I guess, states culture. We were always looking at movies, all in English, American movies. This is again in Puerto Rico, okay? It was, I don't even know, it was summer, and your boy was, let me see if this is a better picture over here. I was dressed. Let me see if you can see. That's me right there. I don't know if you can see. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, a t-shirt, and a goddamn beanie. Dude.
Everyone else is in like tank tops and shirts.
Right there. Your boy's right there. Dude, ridiculous. So anyway, but that was for, and jeans, because we had to wear jeans. And again, I was in this phase where, like, I forgot what movie I saw, but I thought that was cool. Bruh, it's like 100 degrees outside, dude. I don't know how I didn't pass out. Oh my
god.
Yes. But that's so funny that you bring up the this because I got mine. And by the way, I don't know how big your class was, but my class was like 60 people.
Really?
Yeah, in Puerto Rico, like, the classes were small. Like, my wife's class was like 570 people. I'm like, Jesus Christ. How do you get to know everybody?
Our classes were big. That's crazy. So everyone knew everyone.
Oh, 100%. Look at your boy.
Did you have a video game club too?
No video game. Look at your boy.
Oh, I love the hair.
I had the hair. Look at that.
Yes,
so glow, baby. So glow.
That is, yes, it is awesome. But, it's so funny because Jason's trying. So Jason always wanted to try curly hair, so he's actually going to get his hair permed.
I love it.
He looks so he doesn't want it super curly, but it's funny because, like, yeah, he just likes the wavy look.
Gotcha. I have no options. My shit is so curly that if I don't brush it every day, it'll start oh my god, what do you call it? What the Rastas use. The dreads.
Oh.
The dreads. It starts to dread, dude. Like, I mean, legit. So with that picture right there, I went to I came to Florida with the same hair, and then I met my wife 3 months later there, and we were friends, and so she saw my hair, and she's like, "Oh my god, dude!" The whole back of my head was dreaded. Everything. Like, I was 18. I wasn't brushing my hair and shit. Come on, bro. But now, of course.
Wait, so how long have you guys? How long have you and your wife been married?
Dude,
and how long have you guys known each other in total? It sounds like a long time.
We've known each other. It's gonna be 18 years now, I think.
Wow.
And married for, man, when did we get married? I think it was 10. So I think 8 years. So yeah, because I think we got married at our 10-year anniversary of knowing, like being together. So dude, yeah. So we've been together forever.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. Yeah, dude. Like most marriages, we've beat most marriages out here right now. So.
Yep.
Yep. And we got little Max, who is amazing. I love that little dude.
I love kids, and well, I feel like for you, Nintendo's perfect because you can also play with your kids, right?
100%, yeah.
Especially with like the Mario Kart live circuit.
Oh my god, dude, that looks amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh, you have to. It's incredible. So I don't have kids. Me and Jason have not had kids, but we have cousins that also live near us, and they have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and that day spent with them just building courses, it was just absolutely amazing. And their eyes like just lit up the fact that we could build these things in their living room and then they can drive the cars. It was just awesome. And that's why I think I love Nintendo's, because it's so family oriented, especially when it comes to kids. Because for me, it's like the kids don't really have too many options in the video game world, no. And then even Yoshi's Crafted World, I was watching them play, and there's like settings for them, like parental controls where it's like they don't die, they can't lose lives, they can just float everywhere, and it's perfect for any age, So I'd imagine for parents this year, especially when it comes to Nintendo, it's just diversity for them to be able to play with their kids indoors, during quarantine.
Yeah, so, dude. What's up? I play Smash Brothers with my kid. I never let him win. Not once, buddy. I kick your ass every single time. Hell yeah.
Toughens him up, So
but he loves it. He loves it. He loves Samus. It's just so funny. That's why he's so obsessed with Samus, because he saw Samus on the roster, and he kept picking her up or whatever. So I pre-ordered this statue back in 2016. So my kid was 4 months old, I think, when I pre-ordered this. So again, I was expecting this the year after. I got it just 4.5 years later because of all the production problems with that and everything. So now he knows who Samus is. So when I got this on Friday, he saw it and he's like, "Oh my god, it's Samus!" His head blew up. I showed him the lights. He loves the lights. I mean, yeah, it's just funny.
That's awesome. I mean, for me, it's like seeing the kids light up is like the coolest thing. Because again, I don't have kids of my own, but like playing with Jason's cousins and just seeing their imagination light up. Because for me, like I'm pretty sure for you as well, like when you played Mario Kart back then on the GameCube, Double Dash, I love that game. But
when we played Double Dash, it was
Double
hardcore.
Dash is where it's at. Dude.
Get the flames. Every time you turn, oh my god, right? I still have it. I love that game.
And so for me, it's like the fact that they have a live cart in their living room. I would have flipped out if that was available when I was a kid.
Oh my god, that would be. Epic. So it's awesome to be a Nintendo fan right now, because everything they keep. Because even as an adult, I'm like, yes, I want it. Yes, please.
The first thing I wanted to do with the cart was put on a ramp. It probably would have destroyed it, but dude. Oh my gosh, it's just so cool. And then not only that, but it's so funny because his little cousins, they don't know too much about Disney. They actually just know Nintendo. So I'm like the cool aunt. Like every time we come over, I'm like, here's Nintendo.
Oh my god, it's Nintendo lady. So yes. Cool. Hey Ann, how you doing? What's up? Did you bring me anything?
For me, oh my gosh, and I just realized, you're in Florida, right?
Yeah.
So aren't you guys getting Super Nintendo World?
I don't know. News to me.
I'm sure you guys are. Yeah, I think it's every Universal.
Oh my god. If that's happening, baby, let's go. I'm excited. I am excited.
Dude, yes. Bring him there. You're going to see his face absolutely glow.
I probably won't see his face.
If there's a Samus character walking around.
Let me tell you why. I probably won't see his face, because I'll be seeing my face running around like a crazy person. Like, yes, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Kid.
Daddy. No, shut up. Espérate. Because, oh my god, I'll be so excited, dude. But I'm sure he'll love it, dude. I agree. If he sees, first of all, he wanted my wife to dress as Samus. I'm like, Bobby, that's a hardcore cosplay creation there, and your daddy just no way, no way. But if he were to see somebody cosplaying Samus, dude, he would die. He would die because he's always, even with the statue, he's like, Papi, can you take the mask off? Is her face there? I'm like, no, Papi, you can't see her face. It's a statue. It's not made that way. And it annoys me too. I annoy myself because I had the original Samus figure. I forgot who made it, but it came with the helmet, and then you could take the helmet off and put the head. So you had Samus's actual head. Yeah, dude, the figure goes for like $1,000 now. It's just a normal.
What happened to it?
I sold it because I'm a bitch.
Yeah,
yep.
It happened.
Yep. But anyways, I wish I had that. It annoys me because I wish I had that so then he could see it. Yay, look at, there it is. Because they're so visual and everything has to be tangible. And I loved giving him that tangibility of stuff. Like, oh my God, yeah, he's watching, he watches me play Halo. I have Master Chief figures so he can grab Master Chief. Oh my God. It's just, and then he starts making his own little worlds and just fighting and doing whatever the hell he's doing. It's amazing.
You know what? I don't doubt if like Nintendo has like a testing room where they put kids inside and just pick their brains.
That'd be dope.
They're so innocent, I don't doubt that if like a kid picked up a Mario Kart and was just like, oh, I wish I could build tracks, or watch them build the tracks. And we're just like, maybe we can make this happen, because they're just so creative. Yeah, they're so creative. They ask the questions that normally adults wouldn't ask. And so that's why I feel like listen to a kid just be immersed in their world, because you can probably just find absolutely amazing 1,000 different ideas.
Dude, best part of having a kid is that, dude, especially we make videos from time to time, so he knows the whole structure of making videos or whatever, and he starts directing his own stuff. Like, he's like, okay, papi, can you stand here? Okay, so I need you to, like, get up and look at me and then grab the gun and point it and then tell me blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So, and if I do it wrong, papi, come over here. You need to walk this way. I'm like, oh, yes, director, no problem. But it's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, it's cool that you foster that creativity too.
Oh, yeah, to the max, dude, to the max. Like I'm trying to get him to be super creative because he loves being creative. And try to instill self-esteem because he's gonna need it, because if he's gonna be out there in the world, he's doing modeling now. Of course he hasn't done anything since the freaking pandemic hit, but he's done some modeling. I don't want him to be a stuck-up person. I also don't want him to be super sensitive, be like, oh my God, no. So I need him to be just strong individual.
Strong,
you know what I'm saying? So yeah. That's what I'm trying to do.
It's good though, I feel like the hardest thing in the world is to raise a kid. So, and I feel like, with Nintendo projects, it just makes it easier. I would hate to like not be able to foster their creativity. And again, like, dude, I mean, when that Mario Kart hit, like, it was just so cool to sit back and let them do their thing. Like, I wasn't directing them, that was all them, whatever course they decided to make. That was because they made that decision, regardless if it worked or not. And I like the fact that they test boundaries.
Yeah, they're expert solutions at testing boundaries. Experts.
They are. I would think so. Whether or not you want it at the time.
Oh, they'll test them boundaries.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, that's what I love. I mean, the moment my mom brought home Nintendo, it like. Not only could we play the games, but she played with us. And it's so funny because when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, my mom knew exactly what I was talking about. I was just like, hey, Mom, do you remember that game
that's
that
awesome.
We played? And the thing about, we're half Asian, right? My mom is full Filipino, so she's full Asian. And with Asians, it's like really hard to get away with things, because they're very strict. So at the time, my mom, even though she provided the Nintendo games, she didn't want us playing too much. School is like the main priority, which is very true. I agree. Although in this climate of career paths and all that stuff, now we have the option to stream and make money and do all that stuff, right? So at the time when we just had Animal Crossing on the GameCube, me and my sisters had to sell it to her in a way where she could accept the fact that we were playing video games on a school night. So with Animal Crossing, it was a lot easier because we just told her basically, well, here's this game where you buy a house, you have to pay off your debt, you got to work hard, you got to save money. And she was sold. So she would give us a couple hours a night to play Animal Crossing, and we would tell her about all these things, fishing for red snappers, and then giving it to Tom Nook and paying off our home. We would show her our interior designing skills, and it's cool because years later, right before the launch of Animal Crossing New Horizons, I was able to just mention a little bit about it, and immediately she goes, "Oh, Animal Crossing." And I'm like, "Yeah, Animal Crossing."
Mommy knows what's up.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, my dad is cool. I have a really cool story with my dad. So my dad's always been really, I would say I get a lot of my creativity from my dad. My mom is very logical. My dad, however, is very creative.
Is your dad Filipino as well?
What's that?
Is your dad Filipino as well?
My dad is full Spanish.
For Spanish from where? From like Spain?
Oh, Spain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, like Castellano. Do you speak Spanish?
No.
Ah, papi, fallaste.
I know.
¿Qué carajo pasó?
Okay, listen. So it's so because he did try to bless his heart, he did try to teach us Spanish. And if I had to learn one language, either Tagalog or Spanish, I would have learned Spanish. Yeah. It's a beautiful language. I don't know with or without the lisp. I don't know which one's more beautiful or which one's a little bit.
I would say the one that the one that your dad probably speaks. It's the mine sounds like I'm a hoodlum, a hoodlum, whatever you call it. It's just bottom of the barrel. Our Spanish in Puerto Rico is
different dialects, right? It's a lot of different
100%.
Dialects and stuff. Yeah. So like it's weird because when my dad got his citizenship here in the U.S. and they call out each country. They say like the Philippines, and so you're supposed to stand up. And my dad stood up, and he was like the whitest guy there amongst Filipinos. And they're like, "Is he really Filipino?" But for real, he's straight up Filipino, even though he's Spanish, because he was born and raised there. And it's so funny every time we go to the Philippines because people will look at us and then they'll talk Tagalog. And they think we don't understand, but my dad in the background was like listening to all of it.
Really?
Yeah. But my dad has always been the creative one. And he's actually the one that taught me how to color in the lines. I'll never forget it. And that's the cool thing is that like when you're a kid, you don't remember your whole childhood, but you'll remember moments that maybe to your parents weren't significant, but for you as a kid, it was everything. So I remember my dad teaching me how to color in the lines in a coloring book, and so he definitely was, I think, the biggest advocate for me going into art. So when it comes to video games, my dad is a lot more acceptable. And I remember when Super Smash Bros. Brawl launched that night, my mom was totally against us going to the premiere launch. My mom did not want us to go to GameStop, which was connected to Blockbuster.
Oh my God, Blockbuster!
I know, right? So, and they had they were having a tournament at that night, and all of our friends were going, our neighbors were going, and my mom was totally against it. And we were devastated. That's so cool!
I used to work at Blockbuster, dude. This one says Cloud Strife. You know Cloud, right?
Oh my gosh, no way.
I have a Sam. I don't know if you can see it with the camera here.
That is so cool.
But yeah, I made Samus, and by the way, I mean I must probably would have gotten in trouble if they would have found out because I'm making legit accounts with like names of Master Chief. I have another one.
That is so cool. Oh, that is so. I mean, bringing it back to those days is like. I mean, I am very blessed for I think our childhood, the 90s kids, the way we grew up is just so amazing. We were definitely the catalysts for streaming, for playing games, for making it cool. For
real.
Back then, it wasn't a cool thing.
We were geeks
and now,
watching.
Now everyone does it. So.
Anime and playing games, and people are like,
right? So like, it was crazy because we really wanted to go to that launch. And my mom said no, and my sisters were crying because they would release a video every single week before the launch of a new character.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
hyping
And then
you
that
up.
whole week we would read about that character. And we'd be like, oh, did you see that they announced Mewtwo, blah, 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 all that stuff. So we were devastated. And so we went to bed that night. And the next thing you know, I hear a knock on my door, right? And my dad slowly opens the door. And he's like, hey, I'm going to sneak you guys out. And I'm like, what?
No. Dad of the century right there, dude. That is sick.
So it was crazy. So me and my younger sister, we had the same room. My older sister was in the other room. So he went to both of our rooms, woke us up, and it was just okay. I don't know why. Now I'm thinking. Looking back, I don't know why he didn't sneak us out through the front door, because I don't think it would have mattered. But he's like, "I'm gonna sneak you guys out through the garage. It's fine. Just go underneath, and I'm gonna close it behind you guys." So he snuck us out, and our neighbors were right across the street waiting for us, and we all drove to GameStop, and we enjoyed the lunch. We got to play into a tournament, all that stuff. So it was really awesome. That's one memory that I like really cherish.
Dude, that's a badass memory, dude. Your dad sneaking you out.
My dad is awesome.
That is. Does your mom know this story yet?
No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. let's hopefully she doesn't watch this podcast. Hopefully she's not subscribed.
As smart as my mom is, because my mom's very incredibly smart, she does not watch a lot of internet stuff. When I see him doing certain things, I don't think she really like encompasses what I'm doing. It's like, oh, she's making videos, and posting it. Very simple, which is very good, because like for me, I like the simplicity of things. The fact that like my mom doesn't look at the numbers or like the aspect of bullying online or trying to get promoted or gain the followers or whatever. Like for her, it's like very simple. This is what she loves to do.
She's proud of you.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. My little girl's doing what she loves.
Super supportive from day one. Even though my mom really didn't like us playing video games on the weekdays, she still was like, this is what they love to do. I'm going to support them.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing right there. Can't ask for more, dude. Like,
well, the fact that you're also doing that, with your kid is like everything, like it's crazy, because kids are like sponges. They really are. I don't even have a kid, but I would imagine for you, every single day, you just find something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they change so quickly too. Again, like, one day he's been having this, I don't know, favorite toy, it's a plush or something, and then the next day, I'm done. No, thank you. It's a wrap. Whatever.
He's done everything with it. He's put it through water. He's put it through the dryer.
So his thing this last few months has been, when we put him down to bed, he calls me and he wants to hide with me in the bed. So then my wife comes in and she's like, oh, where are they? Blah, blah. So I have been enjoying this, because I know eventually, he's gonna grow out of it. It's not gonna give a crap and whatever. But it's been fun. So I've been as a parent, I've been trying to be in the moment, like absorb 100% of it, because it's not gonna last forever. It's not gonna last forever. So and I want to remember as much as possible. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, well, the beauty of technology, you get to record, take pictures, video, upload it. It's there on the internet forever. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but
for better or worse, it's
out
there.
It's there, and it's crazy to think back that like your grandkids can look back at your videos here on YouTube. That's your grandpa.
Just like Gary's always saying, like your great grandkids could be like, come back to the internet and see your dumb ass being be like, yo, my great grandfather was amazing. He was cool. Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that for me.
If you think about it, because legacy is everything, right? Like whatever you leave on this earth, especially family wise, that's your legacy. So it's cool, because back then you would have never known your uncles, your great aunts, your great grandpa. But now it's like, with technology, your future grandkids can look back and be like, this is where it all started. Like, this is where my dad got his habits from. This is why my dad loves Samus.
Yeah. I could be like, when you're telling your story, oh, when I was a whippersnapper, I had so many toys. Oh, Grandpa, shut up! You're a liar. Yeah, oh, bitch, let's go to YouTube or whatever's out there at the time. Blam. Is that you? That's right, son.
I'm telling you the whole time.
I've been telling you. My teeth fall out the whole time. But yeah, you're right, dude. Like, we're gonna be in some shape or form, out there for everybody to see.
The beauty of it. I love it. I love it. I think it's just incredible.
So question for you. You're doing the Nintendo thing. That's freaking amazing. You're doing what you love. Is there anything else out there that you're like striving to get done? Like another goal?
I think right now it would probably be, I'm very simple. And I think the reason why is because I realized if you make life complicated, it just is more of a headache, I guess. Does it make any sense? I like...
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. I've heard.
Simple. Yeah, because then it's just more added stress too. So for me, like, I would like to stream a lot more, especially on Twitch. That's like a huge thing of mine. I would love to continue to stream. I love art, but I think for me, like, I miss actually sitting down and playing games a lot more, because art takes a long time to make, especially when you're recording it and you're trying to edit the video and you're trying to do the voiceover and talk over it, and
that's so true. That's because you take hours upon hours just customizing or doing whatever the hell you're doing, and then you gotta edit all that footage. Oh my god, my brain's exploding. Bam! Like, because it takes a lot. Because I can't remember the last time I saw one of your customizing videos, but like I saw the Pikmin one, and that was pretty. You weren't fast forwarding as much or anything, so like it's just like, oh yeah, it took 4 hours to do this. What am I gonna do now with the video so I can show it? So it takes a while. Editing takes a while, man. People don't realize it. But
people don't realize, dude. It could be the entire day of editing.
24 hours.
Comes down to it.
Yeah. So I love this format though, because I don't have to edit. Like, I really don't edit shit. The whole thing, I just mess with the audio and whatnot. Try to make it sound cool. I have this camera, which is the footage that I use on where I'm at here. Because it's nicer, Of course, I need to look prettier than my guest, duh. But yeah, because I haven't figured out how to use it as my webcam. Because otherwise, I'd be using that camera. But it lags too much. I need to get an Elgato Cam Link, is what I need to do. So
yeah. That's what I know that one would work too. I think my friends were trying to use that as well, because everyone nowadays is really trying to get into streaming or some sort of creative hobby as well, and it's just really cool that people are now wanting to stream, create content. I mean, I'm not a TikToker. I don't think I ever will be, but I won't hand them because I think it's creative. I think it takes a lot of work too. It's an art form.
Dude, but you can
love art.
You can dominate TikTok art-wise though. Like, you should be, you have so much. Even all these past videos that you've done, all this shit, like, just edit 60-second versions of it. I see it all the time on TikTok. There's so many people who suck balls at what they do, and they got a bunch of people like, literally my TikTok right now is all science. It's all science people. It's just like famous science people like Neil deGrasse Tyson to just some random person who loves science, and they're just talking about science. So everything is science with me. But I see all this Martha Stewart wannabes out there putting little crap things together, and you're like, really? Wait, that looks like shit. So if you could just like edit like quick, pop, 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 and put it there, you don't have to just drop it on TikTok. Don't even socialize with anybody, because and just let's see what happens. Because trust me, you can easily dominate the way TikTok is going. Easily dominate, dude.
I definitely will have to check it out. I definitely will. I know I have an account just to go through it, because they're just so creative. But I probably will upload more. For me, it's like this generation's so lucky, and I really hope they take advantage of the fact that like they can be really creative, and in the fact they get to make money off of it. Back then, I'm telling you, it wasn't a thing. You can be really good at Melee, but that doesn't mean you are making money or getting sponsored or whatever. Now you can get sponsored. You can go to tournaments. We used to, but hopefully eventually. You just like
you don't even have to be the best. You just have to be entertaining, and you could probably make more money than the people that are the best in tournaments, just because you're bringing more eyeballs.
Yeah, it really comes down to personality. So like that's the thing, right? So it's beautiful because this comes into the segment, but you know, Jason, he watched a lot of comic book channels and stuff like that. But what struck your channel for him was your personality. You know, like your personality,
Love you,
he
Jason.
loved it. And I tell everyone, like, you don't have to be good at a game. You just have to have the personality. And really, you can be sitting there, because I've seen this, you could be sitting there making cereal and people would watch it.
Of
If they
course.
really love you.
Yeah. 100%. You can be talking about the
So,
dumbest thing, doing nothing, and talking about toilet paper. And people will be like, whoa, nice. Okay. Because you're entertaining. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly.
Which is another thing I love about your content. You're really entertaining. Again, like I said, you're really genuine too. Like every time you do anything on your channels, wherever it is, you can see the passion, and you're so excited for whatever the hell you're doing, and it's amazing. It's amazing, and people loved it. I'm sure they do because I love it. Like I don't know how to do any of that crap, but I go to your channel and I see your stuff, and bam. That terrarium, like, I'm not gonna get a terrarium. Do you know what I'm saying? But then I saw you, like, get all excited with it, and, like, oh my, it's rocks. Shit, it's more rocks. I'm like, yeah, more rocks, bitch. Let's get it done. Come on. So it was fun.
I know people are just like, why do you get so excited? Because, like, for me, I've always been like this. I'm very visual. So, and I do that with a lot of things. Like, even if I'm not making art, if I'm about to give someone a gift, I picture what they could possibly do, their smile, their enthusiasm. And then it brings me more excitement because then it's like a buildup of a good movie.
Yeah.
Like I already badgered, I picked out the gift, I already imagined what he's going to say, what he's going to do, what he possibly look like, how much energy he can ooze out. And then when I finally give it to him, it's like the climax of the entire movie. It's like, this is where it's all come to, this is the inevitable, which is what I've been waiting for like a whole week, So when I get like packages or when I get like art supplies, so that terrarium, the moment I saw these different types of materials, I was already building the terrarium in my head. I was sick. Like, how can I really make this terrarium look just absolutely gorgeous, as if this Pikmin is literally in his own little world. And so that brings me excitement. And that's why when people ask me like, oh, how do you make custom amiibo? Like, do you draw it out? Do you map it out? No, it's literally all in my head.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I don't know. I've just been always very visual, and just picturing what could be is as exciting as going through the whole process of making it.
Yeah, a lot of creative people are that way. Like I'm that way. Like when I film little skits or something that's has a little story to it or whatever, when I'm editing, like I'm already not like I just boop, 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 boop. I don't have a storyboard or anything. I'm just like, I know what I want, blah 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 blah. And then my wife is an interior designer, so when we bought this house, it looked like shit, utter shit. We got a great deal for it. It was incredible, and she was the one who found it too. Like, but she had a vision, and I told her, listen, if you have a vision for this house, I trust you. So she didn't put anything on paper. Normally in her job, she has AutoCAD or, whatever new program she's using to just build the customer's house so they know what the hell's going on. Dude, this was all from her freaking brain. And I'm just like, wow. Like it was a lot of hard work, but the house looks completely different from what it was inside. And, but again, creative, all in here. And sometimes when that's like your main forte, like you don't have to, it's all here. Just ooze it out and then just make it happen.
And the coolest thing is like, just create, having that idea in your head and then putting it into reality is like the coolest thing, because now you're basically showing people what goes on in your head.
Yeah.
And just bringing it into the actual real world. So I'd imagine for her, it was like, she's probably telling you all these things and you're like, I can't visually see it right now.
That's not my forte. I'm like, very nice. I trust you. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Break this? Okay, no problem. Blah. Let's keep going.
Got it. All right. Let's just, what's the next thing?
But it was crazy. Hey, I was going to ask you, being a Filipino and having a Spanish dad, you guys eat lechon?
Of course.
Okay, just making sure.
Absolutely.
Just making sure.
Of course.
'Cause
Yeah, my family's very, very more on the Filipino side. We cook all the delicacies. Although for me, I have such a huge sweet tooth, so a lot of the desserts are like where I'll go straight to dessert. It's really bad, and Jason knows this, where it's like I will sometimes not even eat an actual meal. I'll just go straight to the dessert.
Oh my God, you're such a little kid. I love it. She's like,
I am.
Candy, please.
Jason's like, Krystyne, you gotta eat. And I'm like, I know, but I mean, look at this dessert though, real quick.
That is hilarious. I haven't eaten that much Filipino, and I love to try different cuisines because food. So every time I saw rest in peace, buddy. Oh my God, my boy from No Reservations.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How can I not remember his name right now? People are dying on the internet right now. They're like, oh my God. Hold up. We got the power of the internet here.
Who is it? Is it him? I don't think it's him.
What was the name?
I have a picture of him in my head.
Anthony Bourdain. Carajo.
I was Anthony. Oh no, I said Anthony, and I was like, it's not Anthony.
So Anthony,
and I was like, no, it's not.
So Anthony.
Okay.
Anthony Bourdain has an Parts Unknown. The show is Parts Unknown. Mm-hmm. So he went to the Philippines and he did the whole Filipino thing, and I just it looked awesome. Apparently the Filipino love to celebrate Christmas like hardcore. So that was something that was prominent there. I mean, like hardcore. It's awesome. And then of course lechon and everything else that which, by the way, like I didn't realize, being a Spanish colony, that there was so much of that Spanish infused in there. And when I heard that Filipino lady who knew no English or whatever call it lechon, I'm like, wait, what?
Hold up.
Did she just like slide that Spanish in there? And then
No, we have a lot of Spanish words in the Tagalog language because obviously we were taken over by everyone basically. But our food actually represents it too. It's actually a combination of a lot of cultures. And that's the cool thing is that, like, for me, I love traveling. Eventually when it's safe to do so, I would love to travel again because you get to really understand that the world doesn't revolve around you,
mm-hmm.
that other countries are different and vast, and they have different cultures, and they live different lives, And
yep.
So thankfully for my parents, when we were younger, they did bring us to the Philippines, and that humbled us so incredibly much because just seeing what a third world country is versus a first world country, you appreciate everything. And I mean, if ever I have kids, like, for sure, I want to show them, like, this is where my mom came from.
Oh, that'd be awesome, of course.
They had nothing. Yeah, they had nothing. So when you go back home, appreciate everything. Be thankful for what you have.
100%, dude. Like, when we go to Puerto Rico, we visit my grandma. She lives up in the mountain. I mean, there's, like, obviously it's getting better now. It's 2020, so it's a little bit different. But even just 10 years ago, like, there's one road that goes over there, it's in the mountains. There was she had oh my God, I forgot, un corral. I don't know how to say that in English, but we call it un corral de cerdos. And it was all pigs, from her neighbor who lives even a little bit higher in the mountain. So you could smell the deliciousness. So just because these pigs were just being raised to be slaughtered and, consumed and all this stuff. And again, like the power was going on and off all the time. There was AC. Who knew what that was? Like, it's it's crazy. And again, she has like 28 acres of like on the side of the freaking mountain. It's very different from coming to, even when I lived in Puerto Rico. We had a house in San Juan, so that's like the city, So you have. Technically, we didn't have central AC. We had our own AC units, and we would use them rarely. It wasn't something we used all the time.
Yeah.
So, but we still had an AC unit in case we wanted to use it. We had usually when we had visitors, like, I don't know, cousins or something. It's like, oh,
that's what you whip out the good china.
Pretty much, my good china was a like 1980s AC unit. that just loud as fuck, but that's cool. Because otherwise, it was just we slept with fans. That's it.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
It's such simple living. I cannot stress enough how, I remember spending time with my cousins in the Philippines, and even though they didn't have anything, they had everything at the same time. They had family, which was the most important thing, the central of why they are living. And I remember, like, even though they didn't have anything, I remember when my mom went to the Philippines, we would just buy a lot of food and just have a feast with all of our cousins.
That's awesome.
And we would play like street games, because they didn't have video games. Like, we had actually went outside and played on the street, like, which is a rare thing to do for kids apparently these days. Ride our bikes. They had nothing, but it just seemed like it didn't matter, and that was the cool thing. Maybe it's because of ignorance, because they don't even know what it's like to live, you know, in the US. But I mean, it was still beautiful because it was like they didn't feel like they needed anything else, and I thought that was really, really awesome. So that's why I tell everyone, like, dude, travel. Even if you go to, like,
another state or another city or something. Just
like get out of like your
bubble.
Town.
Get out of your bubble. Just experiment. Yeah, I mean, 100%, dude. I love traveling, and and fucking pandemic.
Eventually.
But like even the concept for what we're doing here now, this podcast, the idea for me was, like, if I had a TV show, like an actual TV show, what would it be? And I wanted to talk to collectors and look at their collections, like go to their houses, of course, if they wanted to be filmed, and just have a few questions for them and shoot their collections. And why do you collect this? How has collecting changed your life and whatnot? So obviously the pandemic came, fucked that shit up. So, but funny enough, it still took me months to, like, get to this point. Like, why don't you just do, like, a video podcast or whatever? You can reach more people, because, I mean, you're in Nevada, you said, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And here we are having a great conversation. I was like, by the time I get funds to go to Nevada just to film that one episode, bro, get out of here.
Right.
And this is assuming you want me in your house. I'm sure Jason would open the door.
Jason would be like, no, he's coming.
But hey, it might still happen too. Like, I have an idea, of course, to doing little episodes of kind of like the podcast, but real life or some shit.
Hey,
who knows?
I mean, let us know.
That'd be dope.
I love the thing about me and Jason is that we love hosting. We love showing the true side of, because I live in Las Vegas, and people always think, like, oh, the Strip, and I'm like, listen,
it's more than that.
Yes. I remember, no joke, I remember being in high school, and people that just got to the high school were asking, like, before I, like, moved to Vegas, I thought everyone lived in, like, a hotel, and sometimes I would get that question too, like, outside if I were traveling, and I'd just choose a hotel. I'd be like, oh yeah, I live at, like, the MGM or something,
like, yeah, there's no houses in that Strip. It's just whatever.
it defines Las Vegas, and the way I see Las Vegas is completely different.
Yeah.
So if you ever visit, let Jason and I know, because sure, get the Strip out of the way, go walk down the Strip, see all the casinos, and then when you're ready to see the real Vegas, then, we'll let you know.
I might not even go to the Strip. I don't give a shit about the Strip. I don't
okay, awesome. We can skip that, because we avoid that like the plague, to be honest. If anything, we do not go down there. Yeah. That doesn't exist.
It's like the same way I avoid Miami. I'm like, ugh, yeah.
I'd imagine, right? Like with Disney World, and like, I feel like you guys don't even.
I'll go to Orlando. Better. I'd rather drive up than drive down, because I'm in the, like, where I'm at. I'm like 40 minutes or 50 minutes away from Miami, and then I'm like 3 hours away from Orlando. I'd rather drive to Orlando than drive to fucking Miami, dude.
Yeah.
Miami's a goddamn mess. And I have friends there, so sometimes I have to go there and for work, but I just hate it with a passion. So yeah, I don't need to go to that fancy area. I don't gamble. I don't do casinos or any of that shit. I guess it would be nice to drive real quick. I'll be outside like, yeah, and then that's it. Okay, we did it. Let's go.
Experience of it,
It's a wrap. Now let's get some real food.
Yes.
Because that's what I love.
Ooh, Vegas is so good for that. Just because, well, recently a lot of Californians are moving over to Vegas.
Well, they're moving everywhere. They are going everywhere. Californians are like, fuck California.
No, specifically to, I mean, I'm telling you, I cannot even count how many streamers and YouTubers are moving to Vegas because, first off, we don't have any land tax. The housing here is ridiculously cheap. So that's why everyone is like buying houses here, you know, because it's so expensive to live in California. So I've already had several friends who are streamers and bloggers and whatever already moved to Vegas, which I'm pretty excited for because I mean, like, that means the industry's kind of coming to Vegas now.
Yeah, easier to collab and just hang out with people that are the same. Oh, I get you.
It's fun, but then now they're bringing their crazy driving over here. It's getting a lot more populated.
Keep your California bullshit in California. You are in Nevada, son.
So I'm like, I don't know.
That's what that influx of just people. It's like in Orlando, you know. It's just it's like little Puerto Rico. So they bring that shitty ass driving from Puerto Rico to Orlando. and driving in Puerto Rico is bad. My grandma's house that I was telling you, dude. There's one road going down the mountain.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, and again, there's little guardrails, and like if you fall, like it's a wrap. Like your car goes, and people are driving like crazy. Like you just need to be zen. Because if you're driving, and it's funny, yeah, my wife's gotten to that point, but the first time we went there, dude, like she was like, I was driving, and she was like, oh my God, because people go flying, you know. Yeah. So you gotta like, especially at night, there's no fucking light. They don't have posts with light. It's just, dude, it's insane. Yes, it is crazy. It would take, I mean, and then you're slamming frogs. You'd be surprised how just a simple normal sized frog just moves your car when you like run over it. It's insane. It's like you hit a human being. You're like blah blah blah. You're like,
that is crazy.
So it gets crazy. So they bring that crap to city folk living over here. It's like no. Keep that shit over there. I didn't move over here to keep driving like a crazy person.
I feel you. Well, it's funny because I know California doesn't have the best roads, but Vegas is really on top of their stuff. A little too on top of, you know, keeping the roads clean, because it seems like we have like construction every single day on a road that was actually pretty decent, you know? So, you know, even here you can lower your car and it would not be a problem.
Wow.
You know, we don't have any potholes.
Oh my God. Like you would destroy your car down here.
So, the thing is, Jason's from New Jersey. So, and apparently New Jersey's like apparently the worst when it comes to roads.
Really?
They don't take care of anything. But it's so funny because like when I did visit Jason's hometown in New Jersey, here in Vegas, we don't have a lot of animals. Obviously, it's a desert. So like I remember sitting in the car in the woods up this mountain, and the next thing you know, this deer pops out of
out of nowhere.
Car. And everyone's just like, oh, shoot, a deer. We got to dodge it. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, it's a deer.
It's Bambi.
I'm super excited to see a deer. But everyone else is just like, well, let's not hit this deer.
Yeah, everybody's like, another deer. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And Krystyne's in the back like, wee.
You're like in bliss. Oh, my God, it's my first deer. It's when I came here to the States for the first time and I saw a squirrel. My mind was blown.
Right?
Like, it's a fucking squirrel. Oh, my God. Now they piss me off.
We don't have squirrels here either, so I feel you. When I went to New York, oh my gosh, because again, Jason's from New Jersey. He's East Coast, right?
That's right, boy. I love you, Jason.
He's straight up East Coast. So every time he saw a squirrel, he'd be like, Krystyne, stop. We're in New York. There's a ton of squirrels.
There's squirrels everywhere. They're eating rats and fucking shitting on people. So don't stay away.
Oh my gosh, it's cool though. That's why I love the fact that Jason's from the East Coast, and I have a lot of friends like you from the East Coast because it's just so different, you know. And it's so funny because people go here and they're like, "Oh my God, your mountains are so beautiful," but I've been born and raised here, so I've seen it.
Yeah.
Times, you know. So
I miss mountains. Being over here, you know, being from Puerto Rico, you get the beach, mountains all the time. It's such a small island. You see all the time. And down here in Florida, it's so flat, dude. Not even the trash mountain is big enough to be called a goddamn mountain. Where we have the trash area.
More like a hill.
It's like, it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, I do miss like when. So my wife is from Ohio, so we've done that drive a few times. Like once you hit North Carolina, oh my God, you get the mountains and it's just beautiful. Like I miss that. So you having mountains over there, it's nice. I'm jealous because I don't have any mountains.
It's really, I am very appreciative. Definitely for sure. I have to admit, I think we do have the most beautiful sunsets.
Yeah.
And we get actually a little bit of everything.
You get to the beach on my side. You go to the west coast and you get the
Eventually
sunset.
California's gonna break off. We'll get that. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking California's gonna go wee. And we're gonna break off too. What am I talking about? Florida? It's about either we're gonna drown or is it gonna break and we're gonna.
Oh, it's so crazy.
So
Just so crazy.
we don't know.
Now.
But
just appreciate everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially the wilderness.
I was gonna ask you, how did you meet your boy? Did he fly to Nevada and you met him over there?
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking, of course. I know this is not like a.
No, it's okay. Actually, it's cool because no one's ever asked me that. Actually, I think that's the first time where.
You're welcome. You go. P2 Podcast exclusive.
I usually talk about this maybe a little bit here and there in my streams. But Jason and I, so we've known each other for about 12 years, around 12 years, but we've been dating for 7 years. And he actually, I didn't meet him. Okay, how do I start this? Because it's we could have met several times because people don't know that Vegas is actually really small.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone knows everyone. Eventually, I would have met Jason. And we probably would have, we were probably at the same place. We just didn't even introduce each other. And so he knew my sister first before I knew of him. And how I actually got to meet him first, actually introduce myself, I used to mod a game called Humans vs. Zombies. And it's usually played on college campuses. But basically, you have a Nerf gun, you're a human. If you're a human, you tie a bandana on your hand.
Okay.
If you're a zombie, you tie it on your forehead. And so everyone starts off as a human, but then someone randomly gets chosen as a zombie, and then that zombie has to tag someone. Okay. And once that person tags someone, that human becomes a zombie too. But you can stop or freeze a zombie by shooting them with a Nerf gun. And so I took that game, and instead of just playing it on our college campus here at UNLV, I decided, how cool would this be if it were, instead of because they play this for a week. It's usually a week-long thing.
Holy shit.
College campus. It's intense. And so instead I was just why can't I just bring this to a park and have the community play? So I took on the challenge of bringing the whole community together to play
Amazing.
Zombies. The coolest thing, because it was we'd get at least 150 kids playing Humans versus Zombies, and they would mod their Nerf guns. It was crazy. And I would come up with missions, rescue mission, escort, all those different things. And I remember Jason's group specifically because they brought the youngest kids. And in my head, I was just these kids are too young. And I was I have to now babysit these kids because I don't want them getting hurt,
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the game, I like to go around and just thank everyone for showing up. And I remember specifically going to his group and being I don't think you can bring those kids next time because they're just so young, And then I introduced myself briefly, and then I didn't really get to know him until again my sister. Well, and then I saw him again at another party because we were in the same UNLV group, and so I remember, but he asked for my number at this party, and then I lost my cell phone at that party. So then that didn't work.
Oh my God.
so then finally, he worked across from my sister because she worked at Hello Kitty. He worked at Hollister. And then they had the same classes at UNLV, and they met up. And then this night that I came home from work, I see Jason in my living room, and Vanessa's oh, this is my friend Jason. We're going to go play a scary game. And then that's how we ended up really actually connecting, is that night when we were playing a very scary game, which is, I think, Fear 2. It's a very old classic game, but it's horror, sci-fi type thing. And then, it just went from there. We just finally actually got to talking, and I didn't lose his number. And
well, you didn't lose your damn phone.
It is a running joke in my group. I don't think people realize how clumsy I am. So I don't know, I can't believe I'm telling this, but because people literally like, it's so bad. But you know how you can renew your driver's license online?
Yeah.
Right? So you can only renew it 2 or 3 times. After that, you have to go in person, right? Mm-hmm. Especially within a time limit. If you renewed it like 4 or 5 times within a certain month, like obviously you have to go in person. I've reached that max.
Oh my God.
Go in person to renew my driver's license. I've lost my driver's license so many times. So many times. It's so bad. There's probably 5 or 10 Krystynes out there, to be honest.
People just using your license for everything.
Yeah, probably. It's
that is bad. Hilarious. So I'm assuming Jason needs to take care of everything. Like he's, just holding everything so you don't lose anything.
Basically, I am very, how do I say? I'm very trustworthy of people. Which is also a bad thing. I've gotten better, okay, throughout the years, guys. Before everyone is like, oh my gosh. But when we first started dating, because Jason, it's so hard. Him and his brother, so he has a brother named Joel, and a running thing with me and Joel is that we never know when Jason is serious, right? And here's a good example, right? When we first started dating, I get into this, he's going to drive us somewhere. I forgot where we're going. But I forgot to put my seatbelt. And he's like, Krystyne, you got to put on your seatbelt or the car's going to shut down. And I'm like, the car's going to shut down.
Oh, my God.
And, and so he's just like, yeah, look, it's beeping. And then now, look, I'm pressing the gas and it's not working. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. Oh, okay. So I put my seatbelt, right? So next thing you know, I go to my dad like a couple of weeks or days afterwards. And we're somehow on the topic of cars. And I brought up the fact that Jason's car shuts down if you don't put your seatbelt on. And my dad goes, Krystyne, it's not real. And I'm like, no, it's real. I'm telling you.
That
Jason showed me.
Amazing.
It wasn't working. So then I go to Jason the next day and I'm like, hey, Jay, my dad doesn't believe you. You should tell him. And he's like, you told your dad? And I'm like, yeah. And he's just like, oh my gosh, Krystyne.
At this point, you were still believing that story. That you went to your boy and be like, hey, you got to tell my dad right now that your car does not move because
you gotta show him the foot thing. You gotta show him the gas doesn't work.
That is hilarious.
And he's like, oh my gosh, Krystyne, I was joking. And I was like, oh no.
Oh my God, Jason, he's an MVP. He's an MVP.
He's something. He's something else.
That is hilarious. I gotta make room. I gotta schedule Jason to be on here because.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. He can tell you all the secrets. Oh man.
That is. We'll have a Ganda episode only, but without you. You know
I know,
I'm saying?
Dude. He would have so many stories. I feel like for him, every day is very it must be very interesting. Very interesting.
I listen. If he's doing that, I'm sure it's very. God knows what else he's lied to you about that you think is like legit.
That's what I'm saying. You know, because again, like me and his brother. We have no clue when he's telling the truth. No clue. Because he does this on purpose, mind you, okay? He's playing mind games with us. But I mean, he'll say things and we look at each other and we try to like confirm whether or not he's telling the truth. He's just playing around and he's just too good at it.
That's funny. I hope, hey Jason, if you're watching, you're amazing, dude. That's hilarious. Keep it going. Oh, no. Make sure, and start writing stories down. So when when we hook up, we get this done. It's a wrap, son. But
we have a lot of crazy stories, and I'm very thankful that like when I go to events with Nintendo and stuff, I get to take him, which is just a blessing in itself.
That's so sick. That's pretty awesome. So Nintendo flies you guys?
Yes.
Wow, that's even
for certain trips, especially if they do. You'll see on my post, I'll do #free travel, hashtag, because obviously FTC guidelines, all those good things.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky. And that's why for me, it's like when Nintendo World opens up,
it's a wrap.
I mean, it'd be just amazing.
Dude, absolutely. It looks, I've seen, it's just, it's going to be so stupid, man. Oh my God.
And the thing is, okay, and listen, like I love Disney, right? But when you go to like Disneyland or Disney World, like I feel like it's so spaced out and like there's not much coverage, if that makes any sense. When you look at the map for Nintendo World, they have layers. I feel like when you walk in, every single like area that you look at is going to be filled with some sort of detail.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I literally look at that map. I'm just like, every day they add something new. I mean, it's just so incredible.
You're waiting for it. When is it supposed to get built?
So the one in Japan is already on its way. Actually, it's supposed to open up, I believe, this year. But of course, with everything going on, they did push that back. I don't know if they've started construction on the ones here in the U.S. So they're going to have one in California. They're going to have one in Florida. But I just don't think that they've started construction yet.
Gotcha.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Man, Japan gets the best shit. They got the Attack on Titan one I've seen, which is ridiculous. Freaking Super Mario World right now. They got that damn life-size Gundam.
Right?
God,
so incredible.
Get all the
so
good
incredible.
shit. I need to move.
You moved to Japan.
I need to move to Japan.
Yo, I've not been to Japan, but everyone that has gone to Japan has been telling me the best place to travel to.
That's sick. I really do. I need to. I've been to China, Beijing. That was awesome. And the food was amazing. That's the best part. The food I ate. I ate so much different shit. It was awesome. It was awesome. But I do want to go to Japan. I mean, obviously, most all the shit over here originates from Japan.
Yeah. Dude, time it right. You know, just be patient, wait, and then when Nintendo World opens up,
bam.
Boom. Yep.
Fucking awesome. Hey, Ganda. I appreciate your time, dude. Thank you so much. This has been fun. And tell Jason that I love him, and we'll hook up, I'm sure, for sure.
Absolutely.
But,
if you visit Vegas, let us know. We would love
that'd be awesome. Some sort of collab or whatever, you know. That'd be great. You guys got your own place, right?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So yeah, I'd love to do something eventually, you know. Yeah. God knows. Maybe 2025, probably, if the way things are going. But
cross my fingers.
But yeah, dude. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. You're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. This has been incredible. I mean, again, Jason has loved your channel from day one.
That's so awesome.
He loves your enthusiasm. I'm so glad that you're doing podcasts now too. And I mean, like, it would just be awesome to have had Jason here, but maybe eventually he can just hop on here and fangirl over you.
yeah. We can talk about his passions. I don't know what his passions are, but I'm sure, you know, doesn't have to be toys.
You know,
be
it's
anything.
crazy because he's very private. Yeah, he's a private person.
Is he? Well, Bobby, get ready to open up, son. Get ready to open up. Anyways, Chris,
awesome.
Thank you so much, dude. You take care, okay?
Okay.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.